This is becoming a professional bass player. My name's Deborah and this is the video journal of my career transition. And that was Blow Your Mind by Jamiroquai. Just dusting that one off of my 5-string bass today, my Fender Jazz bass, because it happens to be nearby. As you'll know by now, there's lots of videos that are about how to play the bass and lots of videos are about different equipment. And this one is much more spontaneous and just about where I'm at and what I'm doing. So I'm going to start today's session by just showing you a little video of me in the car on Saturday. Bless my cottons. I was so nervous. The task now is to get the tickets sold. And if you're watching this and you'd like to support us, at some point I might chuck a sort of buy us a coffee on here. But actually, we'd love you to come along and see us. It's really hard to communicate what an immersive disco is, and probably the people who know it best would be you guys. We're playing at the Railway Hotel in Southend on the 25th of April. And that's in Essex in England. So obviously, you know, if you live in another country, that's not going to be possible. But if you live anywhere near us and you'd like to help out, please do come along. On Saturday, we decided to do a little guerrilla takeover of Southend High Street. And it's not always the things that you expect. When you say you're changing careers, people think it's the finances or it might be the nerves of performing, but actually it's the nerves of selling tickets. It's hard. That's the bit, you know, you've got to create your own work as a musician a lot of the time. And certainly in my situation, that's what I'm doing. And that, I think, is something that often doesn't sit very well with somebody that wants to be a musician. So we all went, it was a group of us went out on Southend High Street at the weekend, got ourselves dressed up, got the stereo out. Dom Chicamo bought some of his percussion equipment along, and we had a brilliant time, actually. I needn't have feared. We did sell some tickets. We did raise awareness, and I just felt really high at the end of the day. So anyway, I'll stick the film in here and I'll come back afterwards. Hi. I'm just on my way to Southend City Centre. I don't live very far, but I've got a car full of stuff, and myself and the Divine Funk crew are going to promote the event and see if we can sell some tickets. I'm in my full Duchess of Westcliff garb today, and tickets are £25, but if you buy them direct from the Duchess today, they are £15. So I don't mind telling you, I'm feeling quite nervous. I was always doing this as a kid, dressing up and standing about outside the house. And, you know, when the kids were little, I remember dressing as the Easter Bunny and playing the guitar outside of the playgroup to promote the playgroup Easter Fete. So I'm not a massive stranger to doing this, but I still feel quite vulnerable dressed like this in the middle of Southend High Street. But thankfully the lovely Lady Kurzel, who is Maff's wife, will be with me, and Dom Chicamo is coming and he's bringing his stereo system, so I really need that because I think without some music I'll feel a bit of a wally. But yeah, let's see how we go. Let's see if I sell any tickets. That's my worry, that I won't sell any. But God loves a trier. I'm definitely one of those. I'll catch up with you later on. Bye-bye. So after that, we proceeded down to the Railway Hotel in all our finery, and had a drink there, which was lovely as a team. And also it's a good chance to chat to all the customers in the pub and tell them about the event and showcase a little bit about what it's going to be like. One of the things that is proving difficult to communicate is to talk about what an immersive disco is. And that's really evolved. So it's now it's called Divine Funk's Immersive Disco. And just to recap, when I started this, I did it because I wanted to play with a horn section. And then I realised that there's a lot of disco bands out there, and that if I want to be able to pay my musicians money, we need to have a point of difference. And so it's grown and grown. And I could never have imagined where we are now, how we would have got to where we are now. But actually what's becoming clear is that between myself and particularly Caroline, our creative director, who's also a psychotherapist, that the aspect of neuroscience and creating a dopamine high from different senses, so smell and visuals and things that are fantastical and hyper real and take you away from the everyday. Music, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you're a lover of music. I think most humans are. And it moves your body, and it changes your mood. We all know that. And we wanted to take that, we've begun to want to take that to the furthest degree that we can naturally as a band. So I can get really high quite naturally from listening to good live music. If you then throw in bubbles and coloured smoke and costumes, and you invite me to get into costume, and there's we've actually, in our venue in the Railway Hotel, because it used to have speakers hanging from the ceiling, there are chains that go over the joists, which mean that we can put a swing in the disco. I am so excited about this. So one of my great inspirations aesthetically is a film called The Slipper and the Rose, which was made in 1976, the year I was born, and is produced by Sir David Frost and I can't remember the director's name, but it's a lovely, beautiful film. And there's a scene where she's on a swing, a flower swing with in a garden, and it's a bit like that painting by Fragonard where there's a person on a flower swing, and we're going to be able to put one in the pub. So yeah, we've been thinking about the neuroscience of happiness, joy, being in the now, being able to be very, very present. And then quite by chance, I've met through Caroline a DJ. I've been looking for a DJ for a while. I've been concentrating so much on the band and then on the dancers. And then for a long while, the DJ bit was, the bit at the end was stick a Spotify list on, but it wasn't really what I wanted. And I've had the joy of joys to meet a chap called Dan Tate, who is going to be our DJ, and he is a very experienced DJ who's played at Pasha in Ibiza and lots of other really big clubs, and he is also passionately interested in the neuroscience of what music can do to, take the mood up, take the mood down, chill you out, take you up to party, and we want to work together to craft something after the party, without being too up our own arses about it. We don't want to be too pretentious, but we want to love the audience. As a psychotherapist, your job from a Carl Rogers point of view is to hold your clients in unconditional positive regard. And that's a sort of a technical term for what I know to be love. Your job is to love them, warts and all the things they tell you they've done, all the things that they're not proud of, all the things that have happened to them. And part of your job is to love them and, to give them unconditional positive regard. And that's really what we want people to experience when they come and see Divine Funk. So we want them we don't just want to get them in the door. We don't just want to be playing at them. We want to be playing with them. We want to be taking them on a neuroscientific journey to stimulate different areas of their brain by playing at different tempos, moving our styles around, by introducing scent, by introducing variety and cabaret and swings and fireworks, so that they leave feeling really good. So that's become increasingly a big part of it. And also to that end, so Dan is now on the team. He's going to be doing our DJing at all of our events. And also with that in mind, I've been investigating the trip drinks with CBD, because we want to create a range of really beautiful cocktails. And I'm surrounded here by sort of things to go in cocktails and stuff like that. We want to create a range of cocktails, some alcoholic, we're not against alcohol or anything like that, but a lot of them non-alcoholic that are CBD based to leave you feeling really good. So they're going to be fruity ones. I've got to prepare all the stuff for a photo shoot this week. I've got freeze-dried flowers, because you know Divine Funk, it's got to be delicate, it's got to be authentic, it's got to be usually quite feminine. So freeze-dried flowers, CBD, trip drinks, and they're going to be fruity ones. Like I think we're going to do strawberry fizz, apple tart. One's going to be called a Studio 54, just to give the nod back. But I will report back at the end of the week and tell you what I'm up to. We've got another gorilla outing this week in Leigh-on-Sea somewhere. So you might see us around Leigh-on-Sea on Easter weekend, because we will be out playing in the street again and handing out flyers and telling everyone what we do. Once you're doing it, it's lots of fun. But before you do it, it's quite nerve-wracking. But I'm often reminded, some of you might know Joe Wicks, who his fitness business is built on standing outside the station, flyering and showing people himself and what he stands for and what he does. So I'm taking a leaf out of his book and doing that. And we'll be doing that every weekend until we sell out. Okay, you take very good care, and I will be back on Good Friday. Bye-bye.